do a little something here. But first, there's going to be a little participation. So, whenever I hold this up, I want everybody to yell out what's on this, okay? So let's just practice, and hopefully you can read it. Somebody will be able to read it, and then every time I hold it up, you'll know what you're supposed to say, even if you can't read it. So, you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
It
Pays to be a believer.
Okay.
It pays.
Excellent. Let's try it one more time, a little bit louder,
Yeah.
a little bit
Okay.
more enthusiastic, a little energy.
It pays to be a believer.
Excellent. Okay, here we go.
This is what happens when you invite someone from
Exactly. Okay.
Ode to the cult of Awefulfest. It pays to be a believer. Or, if it's Awefulfest, you know it's good. It was 10 years ago this summer when Joe awoke like a fright full of thunder. Alien abductors and domestic zombies are all right from afar, but skeletons, devil bats, and serial killers? Could this be the start of something deep, like a monster, or a sidekick with a pen? But then July came, and so did Invasion of the Saucer Men. Now is that fab or what is sung when white sheets confirm the reflection? From the wilds of Wolfboro come cousins who tweet and plan their belief suspension. A horror comedy, a twofer, a B-movie treat to share. The film pusher, the curator, has something to say. But when it came to the Dead of Dover Film Festival, should these rare gems and vampires really see the glaring light of day?
It pays to be a believer.
The setup in the backyard, in the subtle stillness of twilight. The stingers at the ready, 3D glasses, hold on tight. You'd think that Master Lugosi would be causing all the fright. But not when everyone's yelling, that's one more mosquito bite. Spooky, scary. Creatures, stirring, darkness of the night. No, that's just someone tripping over the movie projector on your right. Mad scientists and incidents, and viewers dutifully informed. Oh, the vacationers, the kids, it's the start of the storm and the swarm. But justly, there was no blame game. With mucho visions of the future, Joe spied the future in Awefulfest 6 and purchased a domain name. Now, with VIP entry and Rich as the sentry, and with Monstroid handling introductions, Joe started Awefulfest Productions for believers that are doing and thinking, or for anyone that's up for some really good heavy drinking. So every summer, there's great anticipation for this very bash. With studied film reels, posters and such, after many hours of searching the stash. It's so awful, it's wonderful.
It pays to be a believer.
And there's even glory. Hey, that rhymes with gory. The Awefulfest Hall of Fame, honoring the good, the bad, and indifferent of adorables that have no name. With the stirring of creatures, you've been warned, you may never, ever come back. Yes, sci-fi is fun, but can that little space-age robot really pick up the slack from the corpse that keeps on vanishing and the brain from Brainiac? And now the feature attraction. I don't want to overreach, but hell, I'm sure Joe's up for a really, really, really big speech. It's done with lots of fun. It isn't even labor, with mucho time perusing the fault and many party favors. The pairing of themes starting in year 2012 gave Awefulfest creepy lager drinkers something to delve into and out of. T-shirts, bumper stickers, Fido can even pant. Oh, well, robots and sidekicks, yes, that offered a genuinely bizarre slant. If it's awful, you know it's good.
It pays to be a believer.
And what about the Awful Waffle? And isn't that a great name? So sweet, so delicious. So wasn't it a shame when the post-editing film version of Skewered, every last Dame, Dick, and Harry? Or was that Glenn or Glenda? Well, no way to know, so let's ponder exploding army hand grenades and imitation vomit, and let's get on with the show. Now, with a name like Archibald Lemon, one discerns a scholarly side, and with seminars and fate, and with Tobor the Great, Awefulfest Productions enters full stride. A shrine introduced had everyone seduced. The contingency from Portland, i.e. Avery, was inducted into something quite unsavory, and still beaming with pride and Father's teachings hitting their stride, the production of Slimula had everyone screaming, hide! And on to Don Rondo and the Mondo Cafe, with first every morning a lovely chassé. Oh, and when he mentions any Ed Wood, that would surely come in handy. Arch winces and smiles, that's so passé. Well, he surely is a dandy. The listening room was then set up for discerning ears to flop. Sarah's house awash in Awefulfest clutter. Why, one could even shop.
It pays to be a believer.
Corresponding to the main features, food creations, delighting creatures, rifles drawn to foster isolation, held at bay inside a plastic island nation, green slime cupcakes with sprinkles festooned. Why do you think the sweets were being kept for the creature from the Black Lagoon? Unsuspecting vacationers, viewing Brooklyn by way of gorilla, eccentricity flowing, chance of Joe Run, keep going. You'd have thought they came upon, yes, Godzilla. Well, believers, our cult is amassing. West and eastward they come, and with no harassing, to stare at films of noir that are neo, in the month of the birth sign of the lion that is Leo. Who would have thought this could be so sustainable with standards sky high? Well, you'd think they're unattainable. Like Hugh the Hef in his pad, PAD stands for Playboy After Dark. Dreams of 50s kids with talisman charms. And this ain't even snark. Family and friends come together with time to spend, and now this summer commemorating Awefulfest 10.
It pays to be a believer.
A happening of creepy classics and cinema that is sinister. Noteworthy schlock. Any porn not fit for a minister? Well, never mind, because Joe was so proud upon discovering horrifying.com to the celluloid highway of dreams. And of course, nothing ever really appears as it seems. If it's Awefulfest, you know it's good.
It pays to be a believer.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. The end.
Yay! Wow. Wow.
Bravo!